So it'll be the first start in 80 years. Boeing built 81 of these airplanes. This will be the oldest flying Boeing airplane in the world. They operated from San Francisco to Chicago and from Seattle to San Diego. The engine we're running is an AN1, a World War II vintage of the Pratt & Whitney 1340. The first Pratt & Whitney 1340 ran Christmas Eve of 1925 with sodium-filled exhaust valves, Stellite valve guides, and a 7-to-1 supercharger, which was pretty innovative of the time. The goal was to make 500 horsepower with 500 pounds. It was the first airplane engine to produce in America 1 pound per horsepower, which made the airplane successful. In April 6, 1928, correction, 1926, the first contract airmail route was flown between Pasco and Boise in a Swallow by a man named Leon Cuddybuck. Shortly thereafter, Bill Boeing was able to bid for CAM-18, San Fran to Chicago, at 25 cents a letter, which underbid any of his competitors by 50%. He was able to do that because of the Pratt & Whitney engine. Appreciate the state-of-the-art at the time for horsepower was a V12 Liberty engine at nearly twice the weight and a considerably higher fuel consumption. So it was this engine and the relationship that Bill Boeing had with Fred Rensselaer that made this marriage happen. It wasn't for almost 2.5 years before Douglas or Pitcairn or I can't remember. Anyway, any of the other mailplane contenders were several years steermen. How could I forget that? I could just read my bell book. Anyway, the exhaust stacks you see are an attempt to keep the carbon monoxide out of the cabin. Appreciate you've got 4 victims that ride along inside those cabins. The pilot, Ryan, wave at it. He's back there out in the elements. We know that you cannot trust your instruments, so the pilots had to ride outside. It was very difficult to get a 1920s vintage pilot to fly an airplane indoors. He felt he had his head out in the elements or he couldn't fly the airplane safely. Imagine a 737 open cockpit today with altitude pressurized suits riding along. It wouldn't work too well.